Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. 13 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire. All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically. But once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word, skin pale as death. One after another, they captured and imprisoned the children of our household. They began performing terrible rituals on the children, though it's probably more accurate to call them experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass. It's not like what's been done to me can be undone. Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests. You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
I have good friends in both the Alliance and Fargus, so this fighting weighs heavily on me. I can't bear the thought of battling the Knights of Seros to the death. I have to keep my chin up though, right? Let's press on together, Professor. Did you...
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. I agree. It's time to shelve my personal feelings and focus on the bigger picture. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor. What?
Hello. The north side of the Great Bridge of Murden is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
Professor. Nice place, isn't it, Professor? Standing here, you can almost feel the goddess's absence. Discounting what dwells within you, of course. Do you think some punishment would rain down from the sky if this monastery were to be destroyed? Of course not. Even if the so-called Immaculate One came back here for revenge, that would only be a result of this war, not the work of a deity. If it is between love and hate, then I would choose the latter. The goddess failed to properly govern this world. That is why it is necessary for Lady Edelgard to become the supreme leader of Fodlan. Those with power must use it wisely. Is that not a teaching of the Church of Seros? It's absurd to preach to others what you cannot practice yourself. That is logical, but I am afraid your logic is informed by your humanity. That is not the case for inhuman creatures with lifespans well beyond our own. We must fight to preserve what makes us human. You are the one closest to the enemy. I wonder if you will be able to maintain your humanity to the end. You make it sound easy. I find myself trusting you, even with my life. I've already dedicated my life to Lady Edelgard. To throw my lot in with you is inconceivable. But if I had 2 lives to give, I might devote one of them to you. We could be a couplet of birds, flying alongside the sovereign of Black Eagles.
House Gloucester will remain staunchly neutral in this war, even if we press into Alliance territory. My father is no threat to the Empire. Lady Edelgard surely understands that. The Great Bridge of Murden, however, is another story. I hear it is held by Judith of House Daphnum. She is renowned for her military prowess. We would do well not to underestimate her.
Professor? Hey, Professor. It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The last 5 years have been full of heartbreak. Not from girls, but friends and family becoming enemies. One of the things that kept me going was the hope you'd return. And now here you are. A lot has changed, but you're back. And it's the first time I can remember being happy in a while.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army. I know my limits now, Professor. For me, this is so great. For me, this is so great. For me, this is so great.
for this, Professor. Thanks for this, Professor.
All right.
Thanks for this, Professor. Thanks for the. Thanks for. Thanks for this. Thanks for the. Thanks for this.
All right.
What's the? What's the? What's the? What's the?
All right.
Thanks for this, Professor. Thanks for this. Thanks for. Thanks for.
All right.
Thanks. Thanks for.
All right.
Thanks.
What's going on? You didn't want to train? Well, I guess that's fine. Thanks. Ah, hot. Yeah. Nah. Huh? Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Thanks for this, Professor. Don't you want to get some exercise, though? Come on, let's go train.
I thought you might be at the monastery. That's why I made my way here. I decided to follow your path because I believed in you. But then you vanished. Now that you've returned, I have my guiding light once again. Welcome back, Professor. Someone...
Professor. Finally, I notched a win against you. True, it was a narrow victory. When we spar, I feel like I'm revisiting my past. It's like training with my brother. He always won, always, and died before I could win a single bout. From the first time I held a sword, all I wanted was to surpass him. And that's what drove me to become so strong. Perhaps it's absurd to say such a thing, but I've spent all these years training for a duel with a corpse. Yes, I suppose I did. I can never again spar with my brother, not unless he climbs out of his grave. Still, I continue my endless pursuit of strength. Maybe because I have a new opponent to measure myself against. You, obviously. I beat you this time, but when we next cross swords, who knows what might happen. It was a close match, not a crushing victory. I know that I can do better. I will surpass you in strength, and then I'll become stronger still. Just what I was hoping you'd say. Anyway, thank you for helping me find an answer to the question you asked all those years ago.
Right.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom and Alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first, but corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty. This is not.
Hey. For 5 years, I've fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I can hardly hold it against him anymore. You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words. The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed. I know.
Your death is not in vain. The only possible outcome. Your death is not in vain. Your death is not in vain. Here goes. The only possible outcome.
Okay.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphnel houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphnel.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Eyre, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so. How could... Take that! Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Eyre, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever. I appreciate your kind words, but you are wrong. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor? Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
Hey, Professor. What have you been up to for 5 years? Hope you haven't gone soft. I got myself into perfect shape. Took all 5 years of pushing my muscles to the limit. But look! You bet I do! You gotta get training if you want to catch up. That isn't... That...
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Seros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon, but I might change my mind if you're around. It's not...
Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I went out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear.
But, please don't put me up front, okay? Um...
Hey!
Who?
Me? After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garreg Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer. No, 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 no. Hey!
I was so surprised to hear that the faith of Saros was a sham, my eyes nearly popped out of my skull. But just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that the goddess isn't real. That's my take on it anyway. I'd feel very anxious with no one to pray to.
Who, me?
Professor, since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
Who, me?
No. Professor, please do not be concerned. I just did too much overworking and lost my strength. Yes, I have no problems. Accept my apology for giving you worry. I have sorrow. I am sorry to be fainting at a time like this. Even though I was not asking for your care and attention, you gave it willingly. I am thinking that is incorrect. Will you have a listen to me? There is something that I must be saying. I am thinking you already have knowledge of why I came to Fodlan. Not for studying, but as a hostage for the Empire. So that Bridget would not be rebelling anymore. It feels like a knife against my throat. That I am making my grandfather obey the Empire. Because I am a hostage, it is not an option to be giving up. I must be fighting, and winning, and staying alive. I must do anything to be making life better for Bridget. To be making Bridget and the Empire stand as equals. That is what my people are wanting from me. And what my grandfather, the King of Bridget, is wanting. My want? I am not knowing of that. The wants of my people are something I have power to achieve. Their wants are my own. What I really want... I have understanding. Wait, no, I actually do not have understanding. Yet. What I am understanding is that there is something I am not understanding. Before the war is over, I will have understanding. That you can be counting on. Oh, I love this meal. How did you know?
This is a wonderful dish. You could sell this in any restaurant in the capital.
This is my favorite. I am rather happy you went out of your way to pick it, Professor.
This looks delicious. Let's eat.
Ah, I can eat so much of this stuff. My stomach's growling just thinking about it.
I like seeing a table full of my favorite dishes.
It's, really tasty.
Yeah. Please, help yourself.
Sounds fun! Let me show you my cooking talent. A little more secret spice, and... Hey! No peeking!
I appreciate any good meal, but nothing beats enjoying my favorite food.
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
This is delicious! My absolute favorite!
I like this dish. It was my father's favorite. Singing with others is a nice change of pace. Usually I do it when I'm alone.
Learning these things gives me great difficulty.
You there, youngster. Won't you listen to this old man's troubles? I was born and raised right here in this town. I spent my whole life here. My daughter lives in the Empire, and she sent me a letter to ask if I was keeping up with my daily worship.
Well, hello there, Professor. Is this a friend of yours? Is that so? I was sure you two knew each other. Is there something we can do for you, good sir?
Oh, what a lovely young lady. I was just telling this kind soul a story.
Really? What's troubling you?
Well, I was thinking of going to daily prayer, but my leg's been acting up and I can't walk properly.
How terrible. That's no good at all. May I be of assistance? I'd be happy to lend a shoulder and escort you to the chapel.
Would you? Oh, I'd be most grateful to you. Thank the goddess for sending this young lady to me today.
We'll need your help too, Professor. Here, sir, take my arm. Splendid work, Professor. He really seemed to appreciate our assistance. I don't think I did anything particularly deserving of praise. I'm just happy that I could help. You did a great job cheering him up on your own. Putting a smile on someone's face always seems to brighten up the day. Is something wrong? You're giving me a strange look. Oh, how should I put this? I suppose it's just second nature to me. It's difficult to describe, but I can usually tell when someone is worried about something. Back there, I could tell that both you and the old man were in distress. I spent a good amount of my life living in the church. Maybe that's why I'm so good at identifying these things? Did I not mention that before? I spent nearly 10 years of my life in the Church of Fargus. Many came to us with their troubles. In my own time of need, I once ran to the church myself, and they helped me. May I share something with you, Professor? It's about a dream of mine. I'd like to work in the church one day. I want to be like the priest who helped me. Never mind. It's not a very realistic dream. Please forget I said anything. If I were someone else, perhaps a commoner without a crest or stature, maybe things would be different. It's a bit sad, but this is the way things have to be. After all, only the goddess can decide our fates.
Professor. Oh, hey, Professor. Actually, I ran into that thief while I was shopping just now. Maybe you don't remember. It's been quite a while. The man who stole the book from that market stall. I saw him on the street with his kid. They were both so grateful. It's a really nice feeling. Yeah, but it did seem like they were still having trouble getting by. I guess what you said to me back then was right. My actions didn't really solve the problem. I can't help everyone, no matter how much I try. If I had the money or power, maybe, but I don't. You know, a long time ago, Leonardo said nearly the same thing to me. I think it was when I tried to look after the horses all on my own. I really messed that up. He said, "You're not quite ready for this yet, but there's no need to rush." I know I can't help very many people right now, but I think doing what I can for those I see in front of me is still worthwhile. I have to believe that, at least. Thanks. That's reassuring to hear. What about you, Professor? Has anything been troubling you lately? I'd be happy to help, as long as it's not looking after horses. You might not want to trust me with that. Hey, don't be that way. There's gotta be something. It doesn't have to be serious. I genuinely enjoy helping people. It's a great feeling making someone smile. So if there's anything I can do for you, I want to do it, because I care about you. You think so? It's just what anyone would do, really. So what'll it be? How can I help? Of course! I'd be glad to cook with you.
No.
Professor.
Professor? So I said, two can play at that game. I told him, a small-time little weasel like you ought to be begging me for attention. Oh, it gets me so mad, so worked up. Why aren't there any men around here who understand what a catch I am? Come to think of it, you've always been nice to me. If only you were a man. I mean, you listen to all my problems. I feel like I can really trust you. I don't have that kind of thing with a lot of people. I know. It's a real tragedy. I suppose this is what the goddess has ordained, so I'll accept it. All right, enough of this moping around. What we need is a change of mood. We've still got a lot to do together. When I think about that, what are one or two men? What's wrong is, it's not just one or two men, it's more like 100 men, maybe even 200, more! I'm completely... Oh, I can't get out of this mood! Actually, I've got an idea. Exercise will help. I'm going to the training ground. Come on and give me a hand. Gonna work my anger out on 100 training dummies. Maybe 200 if we've got 'em.
Thank you.
The newly crowned king of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, Dimitri, has declared fealty to the Church of Seros and is raising an army in preparation for all-out war with the Empire. As leader of the Alliance, Claude maintains a facade of neutrality amidst infighting between those who support and those who oppose the Empire. Meanwhile, the Black Eagle Strike Force plans to capture Alliance territory before Edelgard takes the war to the Kingdom and the Church of Seros. With sights set on capturing Deirdre at the center of House Regan's territory, she leads a march across the Great Bridge of Myrddin to establish a bridgehead.
We're about to commence our attack on the Great Bridge of Murden. But first, allow me a moment of your time. It is something that I can only ask of you. Listen well. It concerns Lady Edelgard's uncle, the regent of the Empire, Lord Arundel. Although he is currently cooperating with Her Majesty, he maintains his own sizable military troops. It seems to me that his plans differ from our own. I assume you recall a certain group's scheming from 5 years ago? Solon and Kranya. They both served Lord Arundel. Professor, I understand how you must be feeling, considering what they did to your father. I know it must be foul to even consider cooperating with their kind. However, their power is essential for us at present. Edelgard also strongly opposed the idea at first. Our enemy is the Church of Seiros itself. It cannot be toppled with the Empire's might alone. Those working under Lord Arundel are extremely hostile toward the Church. And the enemy of our enemy is... well, I think you sufficiently understand by now. Until all of Fodlan is united, it is a necessary evil. As for how we deal with him afterward, time will tell. Regardless, Her Majesty and I wish to join our power with yours. You should know that in her heart, Her Majesty regards that group as enemies of herself and her family. They used her father, the former emperor, as a puppet, and murdered her siblings with their vile experimentation. I believe Her Majesty may have told you some of this herself. That is why this was a very painful decision for her to make. I will do all I can to ensure her suffering is not in vain. And I hope I can count on you to do the same. As for all I have told you, please keep it in mind as we march forward. More importantly, I implore you to fight as best you can for Edelgard. From the bottom of my heart, I beg this of you.
We'll be capturing the Great Bridge of Murden, a key strategic location of the Leicester Alliance. Claude will surely be sending reinforcements, so we must prevail before they arrive.
Our opponent is Judith, the so-called hero of Daphnel. We can handle her. so long as we don't get careless.
The boy said to run if I was in danger, but I could never do that. I'll hold out until reinforcements arrive.
Ready for anything.
Appreciate it. I will prevail.
More fighting.
Thank you.
What's the plan?
I do this for all of us. Okay, I'm gonna do it! Still here.
I'm awake.
Put me in there.
For the Empire.
Let's make this quick. I've got no time for mercy.
I'll cut a bloody path.
What's my strategy?
Here is something to believe in!
This could turn the tides.
Leave it to me.
No time for accolades.
It's time!
My heart burns with pride.
You're all going down.
Thank you. You lost that one.
Let's keep up the pace.
You're making me look bad.
You're a big help.
I was just stronger.
Witness Bridget Pride.
A waste of time.
Still here. Yeah! No use. I fight for justice's name.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Judith. We're the reinforcements.
Why do I have to put up with orders from that false leader?
Enemy reinforcements. We didn't finish in time. Don't let them secure the ballista.
I will not back down one step!
There's no reason I should die in this place. It's time for me to return home. Thank you.
Each battle a victory.
That really helped.
Do it! Ah! Bernie's unstoppable. Only the strong survive.
Your timing's spot on.
This is it. Claude, I'm sorry. I couldn't defend the bridge. All who are able, retreat!
Don't let her escape. If we can take her out now, the Daphnal territory will be ours. That will allow us to march safely through the Alliance.
This is the cost of war. No time for pity. Knew you could do it. I owe you one.
Pretty good, huh? I've really made this my own.
Back to the fray.
I see.
Useless. You are in my way. My heart burns with pride. Hard work is a friend to count on.
Guess I need to train harder.
Hardly worth the effort. To kill is to grow stronger. What a bother.
Got this. All for our future. Need to pull my weight. All is for victory! A boon for our future.
Remain cautious.
Let's get things rolling.
It looks like I'm done for. Claude, I'm sorry.
Alliance soldiers! Judith has fallen. Further conflict is futile. If you surrender, your lives will be spared. Lay down your weapons immediately. You have all fought well. With this victory, we now have a foothold in the Alliance. The Imperial Army will cross the Aramid River and push the front lines forward. The fight will continue, but do not allow that to stop you from taking pride in our hard-won victory.
Ah, this should put a stop to one of Edelgard's choice phrases. Well done, Professor. I believe it was, "If only the Professor were here, we could forge ahead and change the tides of this war."
Ferdinand, it is not necessary to tell the Professor such things.
We're not the only ones benefiting. The whole Imperial Army is stronger now.
Yes, it seems the Empire finally has both of its legs to stand on. Don't you agree?
You make it sound as though I can't run the Empire on my own. Perhaps it's more apt to say that the Pegasus has recovered its home.
Judith of Daphne. What a magnificent warrior. I'm happy to have the Professor back just like old times, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this cruel exchange of lives.
When there is something you must not be conceding, you must keep fighting. The fighting has been continuing for 5 years. But now I am again witnessing the Professor's power.
I hate fighting. But with the Professor here, maybe it's slightly less terrible? Oh, but everyone is working so hard! Stop it, Bernie. You can't be the only one complaining.
I'm glad to see everyone so inspired. It seems the reappearance of the Professor has done much to raise your morale.
Do you not feel the same, Hubert? Come now, be honest with yourself. Now, we must take advantage of the situation and blaze ahead. Our path is still a long one.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Guardian Moon. The Master Tactician. Having crushed the Alliance's army and captured the Great Bridge of Myrden, the Imperial Army prepares to attack Deirdre, the Alliance's base of operations.
Professor, what is your opinion of Claude? I can't help but wonder what sort of impression he made on you. That much is obvious. He acts like a fool, but still manages to make the impossible happen. That's as true now as ever. He's managed to protect the Leicester Alliance with his cunning alone. Since the beginning, territories within the Alliance have been split between those who support the Empire and those who oppose it. Claude has been acting as an intermediary between the two, essentially keeping the Alliance pacified. As both sides are of equal strength, he's created a situation in which they've all agreed to avoid fighting each other and causing undue bloodshed. By carrying on as though the Alliance is united, he's minimized the Empire's influence there.
It's quite impressive how well his bold scheme has worked out. However, he is walking on thin ice. One wrong move and the Alliance will shatter. Speaking of Claude, Your Majesty, we should not delay in our invasion of the Alliance. It would seem that Claude has some fresh scheme up his sleeve, to no one's surprise.
Is that so?
Yes. The people of Deirdre have suddenly found it difficult to leave or enter the city. We can safely assume he is preparing for battle, but I am certain his plans extend beyond that as well. Do you not think we should take Deirdre at once?
Deirdre, the aquatic capital. A city floating on the ocean certainly poses a challenge. Since it's deep within Regan territory, we haven't had the opportunity to attack it directly. However, now that we have control of the Great Bridge of Murden, our situation has changed drastically. They can no longer expand their supply line into the Empire, and so we can finally attack Regan territory.
House Regan is not only Claude's house, but also the flagship of those who oppose the Empire within the Alliance. If House Regan falls, the other Alliance lords will be tripping over themselves to join us. That is why we cannot fail to take Deirdre. Confidence is one thing, Professor, but see to it that you do not underestimate Claude. The leader of the Alliance has had many things said about him. They say he is unbeatable in a battle of intellect. I hear they call him the Master Tactician.
Thank you.
How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall.
Oh, Ferdinand, that song.
Manuela, hello. What a treat. It is most rare to see you at the training grounds. I have never had the honor of sparring with a princess. Why not grab a sword?
Ferdinand, that's called changing the subject. That song you were singing, is it the one you said made such an impression on you?
So you heard me. I hope it was not too grating on your ears.
You've nothing at all to be embarrassed about. I'm pleased if one of my songs stayed with you like that. Oh, it really takes me back. I remember the big battle in the first act. How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky, until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance, will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge, will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall. Wow. My heyday is behind me. That's for sure.
No, that was wonderful. exactly the voice I recall from my childhood. To have witnessed this performance in such an intimate setting, I am deeply moved. I cannot stop trembling. I feel as though I am going to cry. You have shaken me to my very core.
All right, Ferdinand, relax. I can see that it's affected you deeply.
You made a little boy's cherished dream come true. Perhaps you can help realize one more.
Another one? And what would that be?
Would you do the sword dance with me? The one that accompanied the song? It had a part for a male performer, if I recall. I would be truly honored.
I'm sure I can't do it as well now as I could then, but you're just so adorably... you. I can't resist.
Thank you so much. That has long been a dream of mine, and you made it a reality.
I gotta say, Ferdinand, you're full of surprises. It was like dancing with a pro. Perfect timing, always in step.
All thanks to you. You inspired me.
Or perhaps it was you who inspired me.
Hey, Caspar, care to join me for tea?
Again? Well, let's make it quick. I gotta get some training in eventually.
More training? Don't you get tired of it?
No, I don't get tired of working toward my goals, unlike you.
Me? What do you mean?
Your quest for the perfect husband. I haven't seen you wasting time with any dull-looking guys lately.
Oh, that. Maybe I just found something worth staying in for.
You mean in the monastery? This place is a dump compared to what it was 5 years ago.
That's not what I'm talking about. Honestly, Caspar, you don't understand women at all.
Well, excuse me. Maybe I'm just another dull guy.
That must be why you don't pick up on how I feel.
What?
When I'm around you, I feel like, well, like I can always be myself. I don't need to act differently or flirt or lie. I can just be me. I always said you were little brother material, but when we're alone like this, the idea of marriage...
Nope. Hold it right there. I'm gonna need a minute. I was not ready for this.
Caspar, settle. You might be getting the wrong idea. I was only saying, when I'm with you like this, I can forget all about marriage and just be friends.
Huh? Right. Of course.
Though I suppose relationships like that can also lead to marriage.
Now I know you're messing with me.
I'm not trying to tease. I was just thinking out loud. If neither of us ever find our special someone, it might not be so bad to settle down and spend the rest of our lives together. What do you think?
I haven't really thought about that. I'm not really the romance type. Spending the rest of my life with you doesn't sound so bad, though. But why are we even talking about this? There's no way you won't find someone great.
Stranger things have happened.
Either way, no point in worrying about it now. I'm plenty happy with our current situation. Let's just focus on staying good friends.
Good idea. Here's to us.
Knew you weren't up to it, Bernie.